Hello and welcome to Ati's Conflict Studio, where we try to manage conflicts because we know not all conflicts are to be resolved. Some can only be managed without a final resolution or reconciliation. An employee comes to my office frustrated and overwhelmed. I just don't get along with my supervisor, they said. The tension is affecting everything. I want to get out of this, but I don't know how. Then comes the question that I hear very often. What are my options? And it's a great question because when we are in conflict, it often feels like we are stuck. We don't see clearly. We just want someone to give us a map. But here's the truth. There is no universal map. There are only pathways that we can find and take. And which one you should take depends on you and you only. Let's start by mapping out different options. What people mean when they say, "What are my options?" So, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of some of the most commonly known options in workplaces. While our focus in this episode is on workplace disputes, the methodology we are exploring can be adapted to a wide range of conflicts, from interpersonal and family disputes to business and even political ones. Lawsuit. That's always the first thing that comes to people's mind usually. It's a formal legal claim. It's public, it's costly, it's slow, and adversarial. It's powerful, or it may seem powerful, but it's not always practical. Going to HR. It's a formal internal option, but its effectiveness can vary depending on the organization and its culture. Next option, investigation. If the issue involves harassment, discrimination, or other serious concerns, an employer may launch an internal investigation. Title IX. It's relevant if you are in a university setting and the issue involves sex-based discrimination, assault, harassment, or similar violations. Negotiated agreement. It's informal. It may mean sitting down with your supervisor or HR to work through a resolution. Mediation or facilitated conversation. It's a voluntary and confidential process with a third party neutral, and it's informal. It can be highly effective when both parties are willing to negotiate in good faith. And last but not least, doing nothing, choosing to endure the situation without addressing it, which is not usually what we suggest. So, we really have a spectrum of options from very formal to very informal. And this isn't just about workplace disputes. This spectrum applies to any kind of dispute or conflict we may be facing. Now that we laid out the toolbox, the real challenge is which tool to use and when. The reality is that there is no best option, and there is no best conflict resolution method as a general rule. There is only the method that works best for you in your situation. Let me give you an example. Two employees come to me. One is a highly skilled IT manager. The other holds a high-level, niche administrative role that exists only in one department. Both of these individuals are dealing with difficult supervisors. Both are burned out, and both are exploring their options. But here's the difference. The IT manager likely has job mobility. She could transfer or find other opportunities in different departments or companies. The other person may not have all those options. Their role doesn't translate easily everywhere, and they might be far more dependent on staying where they are. Or it may be the case that one of them has enough savings and can afford to take some time off while job hunting. The other may be supporting a family, paying a mortgage, and they may simply not be able to afford to take a break. So, while the conflicts look very similar on the surface, their realistic options are very different. That's why I believe conflict resolution must be tailor-made. You can't plug people into templates and expect a perfect outcome. Now, let's talk about the danger of focusing on the other person. Here's another layer, and it's a big one. We often can't decide between options or prioritize effectively without first having clear goals. But what many people are asking when they are talking about their goals is, how can I punish the other person most? And look, I get it. When someone hurts you, it's natural to want accountability. But even when people do win legally, institutionally, emotionally, they often walk away unsatisfied. A very familiar situation: family court. Think about a divorce or custody case. These type of cases are highly emotionally charged, deeply personal. People hire top attorneys, build complex cases, spend months, sometimes years, fighting for what they think is fair. And yet, ask them after it's over, and many will say, I still don't feel good about how it ended. Why? Because the focus was never on their own needs. It was on the other person, on what they did wrong, how they should suffer, and what they deserve. And this is not a perfect resolution in most cases. But again, it's completely human to want justice. I understand, as human beings, our drive for justice is tied to our drive for survival. You could even argue it's one of our most fundamental needs. Just look around the world. People go to war. They risk their lives in pursuit of justice. So one can argue it comes even higher than survival. They sacrifice their safety and their lives because they just think something isn't right. This can't stand. That's how natural and how primal the desire for justice is. So I'm not talking about not being revengeful or this is negative. I understand it's very normal to want those things. I understand we want to see justice. But here's the twist. Studies have shown that even people who technically win their cases, especially in cases such as family courts, often report feeling disappointed or unheard. Surveys show that over half of divorced individuals feel the legal process didn't serve them well. Many say they wish they had taken a different approach, such as mediation or collaborative divorce. And many report that even when they got what they asked for in court, they walked away feeling disrespected by the system. What does that tell us? It tells us that satisfaction doesn't come from punishment. It comes from clarity, from knowing what you need, what you value, and what you can live with. That's why in conflict resolution, goal setting is so essential before taking any other steps. Now, let's talk about priorities. We often say, I need to get my priorities straight. But here's the thing. Very few people talk about how to actually set priorities. A priority isn't just the most important thing or what matters most. It is what matters most, but also there are some other matters that should be factored in. Your values, your resources, time, money, energy, support system, and timing. Let's say justice is important to you. That's a value. But timing and resources also matter. Success in conflict resolution doesn't always mean winning. It means allocating your resources effectively to meet your needs and wants. Let's talk about it like a graph. Your resources, your time, money, emotional energy, let's say they're x-axis. And then your actual goals, what matters most to you. Those are on the y-axis. The more you invest along the x-axis, the higher you should be climbing on the y-axis. But in conflict, especially when we are overwhelmed, we often just move sideways, pouring effort and emotions into a process that isn't actually getting us closer to our goals. So before you move forward, ask yourself, if I spend more here, am I getting closer to what really matters to me? Or am I just exhausting myself without gaining what matters most to me? Conflict resolution should move you up and not just out. So, how do we design a system that works best for us? Think of conflict resolution process like tailoring a suit. We don't just grab off the rack just because it looks good. We get one that actually fits. Ask yourself, what are my goals? What are my limits? What do I need to feel okay even if nothing else changes? Take a holistic view. Explore all the options that are available and choose. Not what punishes the other person most, but what protects and serves you most. So, we discussed that every situation is different and we need to look at it based on our very personal needs and wants. At the same time, we discussed some principles that may be applicable to most conflicts. So, I'm going to give you a list of the universal principles that hold true across most conflicts. 1. Clarify your goals and priorities. Know what truly matters to you. This helps you stay anchored when options feel overwhelming. 2. Assess your resources. Check your time, energy, emotional bandwidth, and financial means. Choose a path that is sustainable. Define the problem clearly. A lot of times, the problem that we are trying to resolve is not even clear. As they say, a problem well defined is a problem half solved. Put it into words. It helps guide you through the next steps. Understand the differences between what's right and what's provable. Legal systems work with evidence. They don't work with what we think is the truth, even if at our core we believe that is the truth. The reality is that in every legal or formal proceeding, the adjudicator needs to work with what is provable and what we have evidence for. 5. Take a holistic view. Explore formal and informal paths. The more you understand your options, the more power you have to choose the right one for you. 6. Start informally when possible. Direct conversations or mediation can often resolve conflicts faster and with less damage. And mediation works. In fact, studies show that 70 to 80% of mediation cases result in an agreeable resolution to both parties. Its collaborative nature leads to more satisfying, long-lasting outcomes. Thanks for tuning in to Ati's Conflict Studio. If you're facing a dispute right now, I hope this gave you not just a list of options, but a clear way to think through which one is right for you. You don't need to have a perfect plan. You just need a path that feels aligned with where you are, who you are, and what you need next. Take care.